Dude, so I don't think it's open yet because of the whole global situation, but
Wait a little a pandemic.
ooh.
Yeah.
So there's an Evil Dead escape room
What?
in Washington State.
How does that work?
I'm not fucking with you. I have no idea.
Huh.
But in my imagination, you go in,
Yeah.
it's slam full of demons, like those, what are those boxes called?
What box?
The ones you can buy on the internet that have a demon in them? Or a ghost?
I don't know what that's called at all.
Ah, damn, we should look that up. I'll put it in the show notes or something. But there's these boxes you can open up and there's a demon in there.
Uh-huh.
You're not supposed to open them up. They like fuck with you if you open it up.
In that world, aren't they called like nanites or something? No.
Deadites.
Deadites.
Yeah, nanites were those little tiny robots on Star Trek.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but in my imagination, you get in the Evil Dead room, right? They just open a bunch of those boxes up.
Uh-huh.
And you just get fucked by demons.
I don't like this idea anymore.
And you try to escape from the escape room, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I can't think of how else an Evil Dead escape room would work because it's not a mystery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
it's really not.
It's not some like Perry Mason shit or some like Sherlock Holmes or like MacGyver.
No, he just gets thrown into a bad situation.
Yeah.
And kind of like gets out of it.
His whole like dilemma, if you will, is like, I'm in the house and these demons are trying to fuck the shit out of me.
Yeah. And if I go outside, they will fuck the shit out of me. So I'll fight them in the house.
So here's the real question.
Okay.
If you escape the escape room, right, and you go bolting outside the house, is it Evil Dead 1 where a tree's going to wrap around you and fuck you? Or is it Evil Dead 2 where you're just going to get killed by invisibleness?
Fuck.
Yeah.
Or is it an Army of Darkness where you get sucked up into a portal and then sent back in time?
And then you got to get through a medieval escape room?
Yeah.
It just never ends.
Yeah. And you look over at the manager of the escape room, you're like, the only thing he's in charge of is Jack and shit, and Jack just left town. Hello and welcome to the Firebear Republic. I'm Dustin.
And I'm Jamie.
And this week, we got a bunch of trailers. We got some movie news, some Netflix show news.
Yeah.
Yeah. But first, I want to talk about the shit that got canceled.
Yeah.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch, or whatever the fuck's the Chilling
Adventures of Sabrina.
Yeah. I feel like it kind of deserves it at this point.
That show was too preachy. I'm just going to say it.
Was it even that it was too preachy, or was it that it really resolved everything that it was going for in the first two seasons?
Yeah, even the back half of the second season felt drawn out.
Yeah. And then they were like, hey, let's undo everything we just did.
They needed a final season.
Sure.
It's a shame. I mean, the casting was good with that. Like, the story was kind of interesting when you could look past, like, the like, overwhelming preachiness of the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think if they had focused more on the story and less on the, like, moral of the story, it would have been...
This is definitely one of the few times that I definitely agree with you, and it should have been, like, less episodes.
Yeah. 4 episodes a season. It would have been gold.
It would have helped. It would have done nothing but help the show.
Right.
Just keep it on topic.
Yeah.
Like, this is what we're actually going for.
Is it bad when a season of a show, or a show in general, is like less is better in all cases? Is that why you cancel it? Because you just can't, like, you can't create content from it enough to make it still interesting?
I don't know.
Because they're more worried about playtime than anything in keeping you on the platform.
But see, that's the weird thing. It seems like a lot of people like this show.
Yeah.
Like, just in your everyday experience, people that you talk to, more people watched it than you think would watch it.
I was really surprised by that as well.
Yeah.
I talked to a bunch of people. My wife watched it before I did.
Mm-hmm. I just checked it out because I was like, there's no way this is going to be any good. And then there's like the devil and like fucking...
Although I will say the first season had way more buzz than the second and third season.
Yeah.
I didn't even know the third season came out when it came out. And still have not finished it. I watched like the first 3 episodes of it and I was like, yeah, I'll watch it later.
It's not really that good.
Yeah. Damn. Do you think they canceled it to pay Chris Hemsworth? Because they have him playing Hulk Hogan.
Maybe.
Like that's a thing that's coming out on Netflix.
See, I missed most of this because you and James have shanghaied our podcast chat and almost only talk about wrestling. That's the DC Defender for anybody that doesn't know.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Yeah.
I think you just need to get with it and start watching wrestling again.
I don't give a fuck about wrestling.
Oh my God.
Like I watched it when I was a kid, but otherwise I don't really care.
Maybe this Netflix biopic will be the thing that gets you back into wrestling.
Because it has like Chris Hemsworth and...
Yeah.
Are they going to go into the weird shit that Hogan did in his later years?
I hope not. I think it's just going to be his early years, like in the 70s.
Yeah.
Like, I think his first wrestling match is like 79, maybe.
Uh-huh.
And then he gained like all his popularity throughout the 80s. So when you get to the 90s, he's really like peaked at that point, you know, in popularity. And like everything we know of him from being kids and watching him in like WCW and shit was kind of like the back end of him being good.
That's weird.
It is weird, right?
Yeah. Because I always thought of him as like the good guy, the turn bad guy.
Right.
Yeah.
But he was only the good guy because he had almost 20 years in WWF. Like just being Mr. America.
Huh. He didn't start off in WCW?
No.
Weird.
He's a WWF guy for a long, long time.
Huh.
Pretty wild.
See, that shows how much I know.
Yeah. But Chris Hemsworth, in an attempt to make me personally feel way more shitty about my physical appearance, is trying to get in the shape that Hulk Hogan was when he made his like wrestling debut.
See, I only know Hogan as the like kind of beer belly guy with the, he's strong.
With the horseshoe hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, when he made his debut at like before we were born, he was coming out of bodybuilding. He's ripped as fuck. His arms were like 32 goddamn inches around.
If Arnold's a 10 and I'm a 1, where does he go?
Okay, so here's the thing about Arnold, right?
Yeah.
Arnold is only like, what, 5'8"? Hogan,
is he that short?
Hogan is 6'6". Yeah, Arnold is short.
Arnold's 5'8".
He's like 5'8", 5'9".
No way.
Look it up.
I don't have my phone on me.
Dead serious, though.
Yeah. Okay.
So Hogan's like 6'6". Chris Hemsworth is big. But Chris Hemsworth in the first Thor, when he was absolutely ripped as fuck, is not as big as Hogan was when he first started wrestling.
The fuck?
So Chris Hemsworth has taken it on himself to make me feel shitty about my physical prowess. And I can't wait to see this movie. Like, I honestly can't wait. It's like a time in wrestling that I don't know that much about, that I'm super interested in, with an actor that I actually like a lot.
Yeah.
On Netflix for free, so I don't even have to spend money or risk dying of a virus to go see it.
Yeah, I mean, you sold me on that. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
It really does.
I'm excited.
Hell yeah.
Maybe we have a podcast world premiere. Another thing that's come out
and kind of rhymes with Hogan.
Yeah.
Is Seth Rogen is making a fucking
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, show.
What do you think?
Okay, so 2 things on this, right?
Yeah.
Kind of bums me out that Seth Rogen is doing something with it. For the one reason that he doesn't like to do sequels.
Yeah. Do you think James Franco will play Donatello?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Are we going to get Danny McBride as one of the turtles?
Dude, Danny McBride as Raphael?
Oh my god.
It could be amazing.
That would be so dope. I don't really like the fact that it's animated. That was my second thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter, but
I think it's interesting. Do you think it means the end of Michael Bay? Like the Michael Bay Turtles movies?
Wait, what? He just... Oh, yeah.
Do you think
yeah,
they're not going to do any more of those if they're making an animated Seth Rogen one?
I'm surprised that got a second one. And see, no, I mean, the second one was the better one out of the two.
Yeah, kind of like G.I. Joe.
Yeah, exactly. And that means we'll never get a sequel.
Right.
You know?
Because they do a shitty one, and then they do a decent one, and nobody sees the decent one.
Because the first one was so shitty.
Because the first one was hella shitty. It happens every time, to everything of my childhood.
It does.
It's hilarious.
How much involvement did Bill Clinton have?
Damn it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to ask my parents.
Yeah.
My staunch Republican parents. Dude, so I actually do like the idea of Seth Rogen doing this.
Yeah?
Because I feel like everything he's done comic books wise has been good. Which is pretty much only Preacher.
Yeah.
But he did Preacher hella good. And like really respects it. Like he's a nerd, he loves comics. He probably read the freaking old school like 1984 freaking Kevin Eastman and Peter Lord run.
Yeah.
Where they're like in black and white except for their red masks and they just murder the fuck out of everyone. I hope that's what we get. Honestly, that's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles I've always wanted.
You know, honestly, I don't think it said anywhere in that article like who it was geared towards.
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't think Point Grey has ever done anything for kids though. Like Seth Rogen's company?
Probably not.
That's
actually really exciting when you put it that way.
Yeah.
Like if we get like a super violent like Danny McBride playing like a turtle.
Please let him not play a turtle and play Splinter.
Yeah. He's just beating up like one of the foot soldiers and he's like, I drink green tea every goddamn Sunday.
He could just play his character from the Fistfoot Way.
Yeah.
That shit would be awesome.
That'd be super cool.
Like, I mean, for real, I'm actually very stoked on this.
I am now too, man.
Because, you know, we got the Ninja Turtles in 91, 91, 92, and 93, or 90, 91, and 93 or something.
I watched it when I was a kid. I got like all the toys somewhere.
Dude, I watched the shit out of Ninja Turtles. Like, I love those movies, but going back and rewatching them, they're like super commercialized, designed for like everyone to enjoy, and they really don't hold the spirit of the comic.
Right, like they weren't even allowed to hold weapons in one of them.
Yeah.
Because fucking Jim Henson like had a thing about like Muppets and weapons and...
Yeah, even though Shredder gets thrown in a trash compactor and gets compacted,
it's
like he's already defeated. You know? He gets thrown off the building. He lands in the trash compactor, and the guy that in the hockey mask just walks over to the trash compactor and crushes his fucking ass for no reason.
Jesus.
At the end of that movie.
But if Shredder was down, you kill him, right?
I feel like they would have had a better result had they have arrested him. Because he just climbed out of the trash and then they had the secret of the ooze.
But see, I'm not like... I have like a different view like in real life versus like fiction.
Yeah.
But like when you got Thanos down, you kill Thanos.
True.
Right?
You should have aimed for the head.
You always aim for the head.
Right.
Like if you're fighting fucking Freddy or Jason or something, you kill those motherfuckers as soon as you get the opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
Pull the lever on the trash compactor. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I really think Seth Rogen has the potential to like embody the vibe of like original Turtles. Because he's somebody who's produced movies like out of his garage and shit coming up. And like really seems to enjoy the source material when he does stuff.
Uh-huh.
Like the original run. Did you know the original comics of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? They did that shit with their tax returns and a loan from one of their parents.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I knew it was supposed to be like a satire of Daredevil.
Yeah, it got a little bit, yeah.
Well, the hand, the foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's an awesome property, and I'm really, really hoping for like adult aimed freaking James Franco Turtles.
I mean, if that happens, I'm super down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, fingers crossed. We'll probably get some more information about it at some point.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of shit coming out TV wise and movie wise that I'm just very, very hopeful for.
Yeah. And speaking of things geared towards like a more adult audience, Golden Empire.
Yeah, Donnie Yen. That's exactly the kind of thing I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
But in a serious role, doing like a Mexican drug cartel drama.
It sounds awesome.
It does.
Yeah. Like, I sent you the article because I was just like, it sounded super cool, but there wasn't a lot of like meat on the bones.
Yeah. It's a little ways out.
Yeah.
Honestly, especially with all the delays and bullshit. But Donnie Yen has played this like role recently where he bounces back between like American audience and doing an Ip Man sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the time. And he still hasn't had that American film where he just like, or that English speaking film, I guess I should say, because a lot of those movies aren't filmed in America, where he just really like gets to be dramatic.
So you don't think that like the Western audience like sees him that way?
I don't. I think if you don't watch Kung Fu movies, you miss the fact that he's in a lot of good shit.
He actually is a really good actor.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell.
He's been in some big Hollywood like blockbuster type movies too.
Yeah.
Like as a thing. I mean, he's in fucking Rogue One.
But unfortunately, like a good portion of America doesn't like that film because they put half of the fucking story in a book.
That's true too. But he wouldn't have been in that half.
No, not at all. But yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he'll get to come into the Cassian Andor spinoff.
No, that didn't make any sense because they didn't meet before that.
Damn, they really didn't. Shit.
That would have been super cool, though.
It would. Maybe he'll have the backstory somewhere. They probably wouldn't pay him that for the small screen.
Wouldn't it be amazing if they actually did have him in the show the whole time? And then at the end, he's like, and now you forget.
Yeah.
The Force.
Fix the fucking time.
Because it works like that.
Yeah. Because they can just do whatever the fuck they want. But yeah, this movie looks like some like Martin Scorsese level shit.
Yeah.
It's an awesome like gangster story. The only difference in that is probably it's not set in Boston. It's set in like Mexico or whatever, but
it's a shame.
I'm really hoping it's good.
Yeah.
I really am. And I really like Donnie Yen. I think this is his opportunity to be like Xiao Yun Fat 2.0, where he made his like transition
into being, what do you mean?
Where Xiao Yun Fat came up and he did like killer ass kung fu movies, like fucking Hitman, Contractor, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon was like his breakout movie that made it into like Western audiences.
Hard Boiled?
Fucking Hard Boiled? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hard Boiled was so good it got a goddamn PlayStation like 2 or 3 game.
And you got that Max Payne
like
style
20 years after it had been a movie.
Jump slow down shit.
Yeah. That movie's amazing. If anybody hasn't seen that, it has like an hour-long gunfight scene in a children's hospital.
And doves fly out and shit when he jumps.
It's badass.
Yeah.
Then he did The Corruptor with Mark Wahlberg, which is an underrated movie if there ever is underrated movies.
Not as underrated as Bulletproof Monk.
That movie's bullshit. That was a failed attempt to get Sean William Scott over.
Yeah.
And he'll never be over. I think the last thing I saw him in was The Goon.
You think that was them trying to, like, fucking leapfrog careers? Like, he was like, okay, you're going to be in this bullshit-ass movie.
Yeah.
But then he's going to get better roles, and then he's going to bring you up.
Bring you over. You can be in better movies.
They're like, that's just how America works. And he's like, I'm not dumb.
I feel like if Sean William Scott had an agent that was that good,
he played Master Roshi in Dragon Ball Evolved.
Oh, fuck.
Oh my God, I forgot about that until just now.
That was Xiao Yun Fat.
God.
Fuck. Maybe that's a bad analogy. Maybe Xiao Yun Fat's career like blossomed and he did The Corruptor and it was a bomb-ass movie. And then Sean William Scott's agent fucked him over and he just got goddamn railroaded.
Are we seeing the future of Donnie Yen's future like career in America?
No.
He's gonna come over here, do a bomb ass movie, and then we're gonna be like, play Master Roshi.
No. Who would be like the Sean William Scott equivalent to lead him down the path of freaking destruction?
Chris Hemsworth?
At this point? Chris Hemsworth is not a Sean William Scott.
He's Thor.
Who's in like a shitty comedy?
Shitty comedy?
Like who's in a shitty comedy now that would try to make a transition into like serious acting?
I don't think there is a lot of shitty comedy. Well, I mean, there's shitty comedies, but I don't think there's like...
Usually they take like an established actor and try to pigeonhole them into a shitty comedy instead of taking some young actor and trying to make a shitty comedy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we'll see a resurgence in shitty comedies starring actors no one ever heard of.
Donnie Yen.
Damn it.
They'll cut the middleman out and they'll just be like, all right, you're trying to fuck his mom.
God damn it. I feel like we should just move on.
All right.
Just move on. We got a goddamn The Boys trailer this week.
Not only did we get a Boys trailer, we got news on them making a short film in between episodes.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Dude, and the reason for this short film is amazing. So they got to the end of production and they're like, we're working everything out, whatever. And Eric Kripke, or however you say his name, the showrunner, is watching his episodes as he's editing them and stuff. And he's like, you know what? The first episodes, the pacing is all wrong. Like there's all these flashbacks and stuff, and I don't want to do that. So he takes all the flashbacks and shit and makes it a mini movie to preserve the pacing of the series. If that's not some goddamn artistic integrity.
It makes perfect sense too. Because you think about how the first season goes.
Yeah.
It starts off with the character that's supposed to be Simon Pegg.
Yeah.
Basically, that's a convoluted way of saying that Simon Pegg is in the show because the main character was supposed to look like Simon Pegg, but played his father.
Yeah.
I can't think of what his actual name is.
I don't know.
Yeah. But anyway, that character, you start off and it's like he's like in his little shell. And then like fucking A-Train just goes right through his girlfriend and just throws you right into the middle of everything.
Hell yeah.
And Billy the Butcher's story is this mystery. You keep on hearing little bits and pieces. But that would have totally thrown everything off.
Yeah, and ultimately, Billy the Butcher is the main character of the show. But they don't give you this like dump of Billy the Butcher.
Well, he's not the main character. He's definitely the driving force behind everything. But whatever his name is, the guy that looks like Simon Pegg, is your avatar.
Right.
You know, he is the main character, and you're getting dragged into another person's battle.
I think that's what makes it an interesting story, though.
Yeah.
Because Billy the Butcher is definitely like the protagonist. Like he's pushing the whole story forward and he's your kind of hero character.
He's Obi-Wan.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can take that. He's kind of your Obi-Wan in this story.
Yeah.
Even though he lives and he's going to take over next season because he's getting the fucking mini movie.
Yeah.
To tell more of his backstory.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll just have a constant Obi-Wan character. That's like, and you need to fucking kill Invisible Guy.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. So we got the trailer too, though.
The trailer looks hype as fuck.
It does. Dude, Stormfront looks cool as shit. I can't wait for that. Even though they gender swapped. Because Stormfront's supposed to be a girl in the comics. Or Stormfront's a girl in this.
Yeah, she's a girl in this.
Yeah,
she's the one, like, Instagramming the whole thing, like...
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So Stormfront's supposed to be a dude and basically be parallel Homelander. And they're going to have beef because Homelander's a jealous motherfucker. But I think it makes it even better, like, gender swapping that role.
Yeah.
Because he's such a misogynistic piece of shit.
Yeah.
So he's going to be like...
Yeah. I hate you so much.
Yeah, I think it's going to lead to some cool shit.
It is, man. That
and then
first
they're all on the run.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of awesome.
Man, that first season was just so consistently good. Like, episode to episode.
Every episode is great.
That's the thing that, like, has kind of bugged me about Netflix in general.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we've brought this up before, but it's always, like, a good start. And then kind of, like, a weird lull.
Mm-hmm.
And then the end kind of falls off.
Right. Every show they do. And Prime hasn't done that.
They haven't.
Like, Prime has found a way consistently to build stories that go up to a climax every season. And you never have that, like... I haven't watched a Prime show. Maybe Bosch. But that's probably the only Prime show I've watched that had, like, a big lull in it in the middle. And Netflix tends to treat that like a fucking formula.
I don't remember there being one in Hannah. I know the second season just came out. I've been wanting to watch it.
I need to finish the first season. I never did. That was just a show I forgot about. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all.
The Boys, what's the Jack Ryan? Jack Ryan is like a roller coaster. There's no lull in that ever.
The second season wasn't that great, though.
The second season was a little, like, lackluster. Like, it really didn't need to happen.
Yeah.
You know, they should have waited until they had a better story instead of just trying to get a sequel out.
But it's an awesome story. They just did it really badly. I told you about that, right?
Yeah.
It's Clear and Present Danger.
Damn. Yeah, that's right.
But none of the Jack Ryan shows make any goddamn sense because they skipped over Hunt for Red October.
That's true. But it's hard to do So the Jack Ryan show is, like, set in our time, though. So it's kind of hard to do Hunt for Red October. Because that movie is set during the Cold War, and you don't really have a Cold War.
Yeah.
So how do you tell that story?
But he kind of gets the fame from the negotiations during that event.
Right.
And then that's why they're like, okay, you can go hunt down terrorists.
Yeah. That's why it was kind of like he went from being this dude to being, like, a badass or whatever they did in the second season.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm super excited about The Boys, though. Like, season 2, it comes out September 4th.
September is going to be a busy-ass month.
Yeah.
If you think about it, because everything got moved back to September.
Except goddamn Umbrella Academy, which just got its trailer also. So they went almost head-to-head last time.
Uh-huh.
And I think Netflix decided, like, let's get Umbrella Academy out early so people will finish it. I know a lot of people that started Umbrella Academy, got distracted, The Boys came out, and they watched The Boys. They never made it back to finish Umbrella Academy.
It's good. It's just, I don't even know if it's good. It's got, like, a vibe to it.
Yeah.
That feels very much like a person wrote it who isn't used to writing.
Gerard Way. I actually really enjoyed it the second time I watched it. Because they don't do a good job setting up, like, some of the dynamics early on in the first season. And when you watch it again with context, it's a lot better. I'm pretty into the idea of a second season, though.
No, I want to watch it too. Yeah.
Like, money-wise, right? The first season, it felt like they never got to fight.
No, not really.
I feel like they fought more in this trailer than they did in the whole first season. Like, use their powers, fight.
Well, how weird is it that I know there was, like, a lot of, time skipping in the first season or whatever. Like,
yeah.
I can't think of what his name. Number 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was going to the future, the past, all this stuff all the time.
Right.
And the whole point of the first season was to stop the apocalypse.
Yeah.
But in this season, they're actually getting sent to the past, and the apocalypse gets sent to the past with him.
So at the end of the first season, I don't know if you remember or not, he saved them by taking them back to the past.
Right.
He saved his family, right?
Right.
He took them back to 1963.
But the apocalypse gets moved back with him?
Right. So the events that caused the end of the world or whatever are following him back to happen. Because
what the actual fuck?
Because it happens because of them. So if you just move them back in time, you don't fix anything. It's still going to build into that because that's what the story was for the first season.
But the sister was the one that was going to kill everybody, right?
Yeah. And somehow this is tied into, like, the JFK assassination. Like, that's the key.
Well, 5 killed JFK.
Yeah, they did. They said that.
Yeah.
So apparently that's supposed to not happen now? I'm not sure. But I'm super along for the ride.
Yeah.
Like, I'm with it. And I'm glad it's coming out in, like, 20 days. It gives me a little something to look forward to since fucking Christopher Nolan isn't going to let us see his movie until they have theaters.
God damn it.
I know.
I want to watch Tenet so bad.
I do too. I mean, it gives us something. It's worth keeping your Netflix subscription probably another month. They're like on that thin ice with me.
Me too.
Where like I just saw like, what was that goddamn shit that was stupid as fuck? It was like Warrior Nun, like Nun Warrior or some shit. They put it out as a movie.
I have no idea what that is, but it sounds awesome.
It's some fucking unwatchable bullshit is what it is.
It sounds cool though. Warrior Nun? Yeah.
All right, now we know who has what kink.
I just don't think you know what a good time is.
Damn. So speaking of a good time.
Yeah.
Audible put out a trailer for a James McAvoy Sandman audiobook.
Hell yeah.
Hell fucking yeah. And it comes out next week.
That's super cool.
July 15th, not a sponsor. Sandman comes out on Audible. I'm going to have to renew my goddamn Audible subscription just to listen to this shit. Or just buy it on Audible. I guess I could do that too.
Have you seen how much more expensive it is though?
No.
It's like an audiobook with Audible is like $15 usually.
Yeah.
Like at most 20 or something.
Okay.
Without it, it's like $45 fucking dollars sometimes.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Well, that's inconvenient.
Like it literally pays for itself to subscribe to Audible.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
God damn you, Audible. You need a sponsor. You sponsor every fucking body else. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. Because it's Sandman with no art. And that's kind of the hook of the original run. Like the original 1989 run.
You think the art's what sold it?
The art style is wild.
The art style is wild. But I almost feel like having a non-visual narrative could actually make it better. The entire point of the show is he's the god of imagination. Like he's the god of dreams.
Yeah. Like
creating like a tapestry of like words and stuff that make you imagine shit.
Yeah.
Doesn't that just play in Sandman more?
It does. I mean, he's in the back of your head, riding in your subconscious.
Yeah.
I could see it. I'm a little excited for it. I will definitely listen to it. I mean, don't go and not listen to the podcast because you get sidetracked by that shit, but I advocate for this.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea a lot of some of these things being adapted to audiobooks.
Isn't it weird that we're getting so much comic book news? Well, not comic book news,
but comic book shit done in a non-comic book form.
A lot of like audio podcasts, Audible shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spotify.
I know Spotify did that big deal, like big thing.
Yeah.
And now Audible, which is technically Vertigo, is also a DC property. So
yeah, that's where they did like their more adult shit and stuff, right?
Yeah. Is it too adult for Spotify? Is Audible more adult? I guess Audible is more adult than Spotify.
What? It's like the grown-up version of
Spotify?
Yeah.
Kinda. I'm gonna listen to some audiobooks and educate myself instead of listening to a bunch of punk music when I was a child.
The fuck?
Yeah.
It's kind of like Hulu to Disney Plus.
True.
Wow.
I could see it. It's weird that they're just spreading their seeds all over the place.
Just
yeah.
Yeah.
Because they have their own service. Like Time Warner owns all of it, right? AT&T, Time Warner, DirecTV, HBO, all of it is all in this same like little conglomerate. And they have their HBO Max, which is supposed to be everything together. But much like Marvel in the 90s, they have stuff everywhere. You know?
Uh-huh.
They have deals with Audible for this and Spotify for that. They have shit on DC Universe. They have shit on HBO Max. They have shit they're developing for HBO Max. And they even have Sandman like hoard out to Netflix.
Damn.
You know, to be a series on Netflix.
That was news we got a while back.
Yeah, it was like probably 6 months ago.
Yeah. I definitely remember talking about that on the show at one point, and just we heard nothing about it because like everything else happened.
Yeah.
Like
pretty much everything shut down.
Yeah.
And we had heard about they're supposed to do a movie like a long time ago. Like New Line Cinema worked out all the rights with DC. Like, I think before they sold it to Warner Brothers even. They had worked out this thing with New Line Cinemas to do the movie, and it never got a director, it never really got a writer, like it never saw the light of day. And then it expired in like 2017, I think. And then Netflix swooped in and scooped it up.
Yeah.
And now probably the thing that would work the most on HBO.
Yeah, how do you think they got past HBO on this? Like,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe the obscurity of it. Because I almost think that Sandman on HBO would have worked better than that Watchmen series they did.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Especially with Neil Gaiman actually kind of working with the show.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy that Neil Gaiman's shit is spread out all over the place. You know? He did fucking that one show on Amazon Prime. Like Something Gods or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he did American Gods on Showtime.
Well, that's because those weren't comic books.
Yeah, they're actual novels.
Yeah, he did his time as a comic book writer and then went off and became a novelist, like a writer.
But it's strange that he's licensed his stuff out to this guy and that guy and this other guy and here. And then he's going to be working with Netflix a little bit to do Sandman. So it's like,
feels like Marvel in the 90s.
It does. He has no home, you know?
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. I don't even understand the popularity of Sandman.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought Sandman, like when we were talking about the episode, I thought Sandman came out in like 2008. Because everyone I knew that still read comics in like 2007, 2008, all about fucking Sandman.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. They're like, oh, this is the shit. You got to read this shit. And that's where I know it from. Because like I read the original run like back then.
Mm-hmm.
And fucking, it came out in 89.
Yeah, it's been out forever.
It came out almost 20 years before I ever even heard of it.
Yeah. Why do you think Morpheus looks so much like the fucking Cure?
That's true.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, he was probably looked badass back then.
Yeah.
And it's never been adapted.
No.
Except now it's getting adapted every which way.
Everybody's got a little piece of it. Audible's got a piece. Netflix got a piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would assume like HBO and Time Warner would be trying to get it back at some point or somehow. Kind of hoping that Netflix thing doesn't work out, like the Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
It's very strange, man.
He's the only character that I can think of, though, that kind of makes sense not to have him in their, like, connected universe.
Yeah.
He'll talk to Constantine or something.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not, like, the guy that shows up and saves the day.
Right.
You know, he's just a facet of reality.
Exactly.
You know, so you don't really hang out with Morpheus. The stories are more like concepts and like, you know, poetic justices and stuff like that.
Right.
More than anything.
More like Shakespearean.
Yeah. And Shakespeare is a big part of the show.
Yeah.
Or the book, I guess.
True. Speaking of the books, I also saw something really interesting.
What's that?
They're putting out a box set. It's like $200 but it comes out in September, like this year. They're doing a box set that's like all of it.
Of Sandman?
Yeah. In nice like graphic novels and shit.
Wow.
Yeah. Not a sponsor, but...
Did you see the omnibus that came out like 10, 12 years ago?
No.
That shit looks like if you went back 100 years and found like a Bible,
mm-hmm.
like in like some like Roman church that, I don't know. It's fucking huge.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah. That was actually the first time I ever heard of it. I was at like a Barnes & Noble or something at one point.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it would have been farther back than that. I remember being in like high school or right after high school.
Oh shit, what if they just found that? And that's how it became popular when I was younger.
Oh, those giant omnibus?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Damn, that explains it.
If you were in a bookstore, man, you saw that shit and you're just like, what the fuck is this? And the art is like super cool on the front. It's got like Morpheus.
Yeah.
And shit. It's even got like one of those like ribbons or something to keep your place.
Oh, nice.
Like in
like
the
a
book.
bookmark?
Yeah. A bookmarker. Yeah. Fucking escaped me.
Damn, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Honestly, like that, it's high time that gets some fucking love.
Yeah. I know we'll get into it more at some point, but I feel like DC properties, man, have every right to be good.
Yeah.
And just, man, Time Warner Brothers, whatever, will not get out of their own way and let these things be good.
Dude, they won't.
Yeah.
Their treatment of the source material has literally been shit. Like, all the way back to, like, forever, really.
Yeah.
Like, other than Christopher Nolan's Batmans, you haven't gotten anything great. You know, Tim Burton's was okay. It doesn't hold up as well as you would like, you know?
Yeah.
It's still fun, you know? It's not terrible. It's not the Arnold Schwarzenegger Mr. Freeze, like, spouting off one-liners and shit. I think you should chill out. Like, god damn it. That was bad.
I think those Nolan movies worked so well because it was less about the person and more about the concept of the film.
Right. It was definitely a Christopher Nolan movie with, like, a Batman motif.
Yeah.
As opposed to, like, a Batman movie with, like, Christopher Nolan trying to, like, work his style into it.
Yeah. I personally believe that, like, to do a good DC thing versus a good Marvel thing, Marvel is a bottom-up concept.
Mm-hmm.
It's a man who's down on his luck, who is having a hard time paying his bills, who makes the wrong decision, gets his uncle killed, and gains superpowers, and decides to live his life in a way that would make his uncle, you know, proud of him. And then DC, on the other hand, is a story about, like, a concept. This is the strongest superhero ever, you know?
Right.
This is how he deals with society.
And then they kind of build their humanity into the concept instead of having a concept based on humanity, like, interacting with what's around them.
It's the Greek pantheon. It's like, it's old school stories about gods.
True. And nobody's ever tried to tell it that way except Christopher Nolan.
Kinda, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Fuck you, Zack Snyder. You need to listen to the damn podcast.
Yeah, and stop shooting people. No, like Batman. Stop having Batman shoot people.
I thought some Zack Snyder news I missed came out.
Yeah, like he just went on, like, a fucking killing spree yesterday.
You want to see Dark? I'll show you Dark.
I'll give you the Snyder cut. And he just starts, like, swinging a knife around.
I'll go from Batman being someone's prison wife to full-on murder. Not a sponsor.
We have to watch that fucking Unlimited cut soon.
Yeah, I think you already watched it. I'm going to watch it this week, I think.
Yeah. It's definitely an interesting conversation.
So maybe that's a preview for next week.
Maybe.
We'll revisit some DC bullshit.
Yeah.
But I guess that's an episode.
It's a fun episode.
If you enjoy this shit, you can check us out on social media at the Firebear Republic. And anywhere you get your podcasts at the Firebear Republic. And YouTube at the Firebear Republic.
And fucking Twitter, Firebear Podcast.
Yeah. Because there's not enough characters to be the Firebear Republic on Twitter.
We're short, like, one.
That sucks ass.
Yeah. Are we seated by one or something?
Whatever. Have a good week.
See you.